How you guys doing? This is Andrew at FloryPB, and this is a new little segment we're going to start doing. I've been meaning to do this for a while. It's going to be quicker videos, and we're going to call this Weird Part Wednesday, primarily because this is going out on Wednesday. I recorded on a Wednesday, and it kind of fits. We're going to take some weird parts, some things that might be kind of common to stuff that's sort of uncommon or semi-rare that you find with all these old Angels. Markers getting older, it's hard to get the documentations for them, and back in the early 2000s, people made so many aftermarket parts for high-end markers like the Angel that everyone was getting a little taste of this stuff. So everyone made their own little thing. And this particular part is a MacDev made Sonic ASA adapter. Now back in the late 90s, early 2000s, Sonic was like, their LPR was the Sonic LPR. They had the Sonic autococker. They had a red valve. But regardless, they were using the name Sonic for a lot of stuff. And this is kind of simple. I don't even know if this is anodized, actually. I've never opened this. No one has. Comes with an O-ring, a pin to go in it, and a plug. And I guess the idea behind this was other MacDev products include Conquest ASAs, Gladiator inline regulators, Mac line kit. I don't know what the hell that is. Sonic BM2K grip frame. I don't know what that is either. Sonic high and low rises. Sonic LPR kits, Sonic red valve. So never mind, the red valve was a Sonic red valve. Look at that. So it's a little damaged, but new old stock with instructions and everything. And we're going to break it open, take a look at it. And it's just something that I found weird because I never knew MacDev made anything for an Angel. And it's weird because they were, they're a company that made performance parts or hard parts to make something like this. So it is anodized. It is very nicely machined, I will say that. So they changed the O-ring configuration to just be a simple O-ring fits in, which is kind of nice. Came with a little pin. And it came with a brass plug to plug up the hole in the side. So the whole point of this, well, main purpose of this I can see is to put a gauge in the side of your gun because people loved putting gauges on the side of their markers back then. Oh, even install instructions. Oh, here we go. No pictures, just except for that one. Let's see if you guys see this. Step 1, remove standard inline regulator and ASA. Step 2, lubricate the O-ring, provide it with lithium or silicone grease, and position it in the O-ring groove on top of your ASA. So vertical ASA, they mean, not ASA. Step 3, push the ASA onto the mounting plate using the pin to line up the ASA correctly and reinstall screw. 4, if you are not using a gauge, plug the gauge port with a brass plug provided otherwise. Install a gauge into the port, gauge not included. Use Loctite thread sealant to install the gauge or plug. Reinstall your inline reg. Time to show off your stuff. Get out there. Whoa. Crazy instructions for this. But it's a very simple piece. It adds a gauge functionality, which I'm curious to see how it actually fits on a marker. So let's see how that goes. I want to see how it fits with an inline reg from a similar era made by MacDev. And let's cannibalize a gauge off of one of MacDev's things because they used weird gauges back then. They were offset gauges. Let's cannibalize a gauge off something they have, and let's put it on just some run-of-the-mill LCD. So let's take that off. And let's see how this all fits up. Hey, that's why you remove the barrel. Sometimes it's painting things. Step 1 is remove your inline regulator, right? Yes. The standard inline regulator. Now let's remove the flash tank and the vertical ASA. Hold on a second. Now we're not going to go ahead and shoot this or anything because This part just has to seal and sit there. This is a custom one as well. It's the twisted ones on this right here, with really shitty anodizing, because it was probably one of the first China infiltrations, I believe, into the market. This is the kind of stuff people love doing because it was really simple to do. This is a dirty marker. I've not put this together in a long time. So, check out the difference there. Does that even work? Oh, I don't know about this one. Says for Angel LCD, Sonic ASA. But does that even get there? I guess it does, because the flash tank brings it up there, so that's fine. So, oh wow, this is just one piece. I never even noticed that with this one here. So we grab another Angel, and we gotta take the flash tank off of it. Hold on a second. Alright, so I just cannibalized another LCD. A blue one, obviously. And a couple differences that you see. I didn't give these guys enough credit with this twister vertical ASA adapter. I stand corrected. That's actually a nice little piece that they made there. Hell of a lot of machining, because the flash tank is actually part of it, and I never noticed that before on this. So I had to machine all of this in a separate process. This whole thing might have been 4-axis machine to get all this detail in it the way they did. That's really interesting, and that's really cool for what it was. But back onto the MacDev product, the quality product here. Decent anodizing. It is shorter than a stock vertical ASA. And there's a bigger O-ring groove. So they're using a bigger O-ring than the stock one. And instead of making it form into a shape, they just hogged out the whole thing. Let's see if, I don't know if you guys can see that right. They just hogged out the whole thing and let the O-ring sit in the way it naturally wants to. So it's a much bigger O-ring than the stock one. Does that do anything? No, not at all. It might be easier for them to machine, actually. Because now they're just doing one drill pass instead of this slotting operation here. But it's a clean product. It looks pretty good. They did the side grooves. It's quite a bit thicker than the stock one, so that's kind of crappy. It's kind of meatier. I don't know if that was intentionally because they were afraid of how thin the stock one was or whatever, but I've never really seen one of these fail or break, so I think they were okay. But yeah, this thing's got some heft to it. That might just be they needed to make it heftier so they could put a gauge in here, which is kind of lame. That's what they did, and they need to put their jewel on the side. So let's just put that on the flash tank real quick, see if everything lined up. I've never seen these before, outside of this one I've seen on eBay one day. That fits in right. Again, we're not really caring about putting air through it, because it's just a transfer tube, basically. I just want to see how everything fits. Wow. Are you not going? That's confusing. Screw came out of here. I'm in the wrong hole. Guess I've said that before. Yep, that was me being stupid. Oh man, that O-ring doesn't like to sit there. Maybe that's why you're supposed to lube it a lot. It's better to do it upside down like this. If anyone needs any tips to put a MacDev port on a 2000 Angel. Alright, tightens up right, so it's not too short. Doesn't make you require different hardware. Ooh, that is tight there. Right. So it's heftier. It's bigger than the stock one. Let's put a gauge port there, which... Let's get an old MacDev gauge going. All thumbs today. Damn, that is a tight little guy there. A whole lot of room there with their gauges. Of course, this is an old MacDev Conquest Air system. Had laying around. So that doesn't fit bad. Won't hit anything on the body if you really wanted a gauge on the side there. On the right side, which is good for most people are right-handed. I'm a lefty, so that makes it a little weirder if I'm just holding it naturally. So let's see what it's good with. If we put the stock reg back in it. Yeah, that's a ugly problem right there. It's bigger than the stock reg. Also makes the stock reg come up farther than the bottom of your trigger frame, which just looks not proportioned. So let's see if they were smart and did they make it so their reg would made up to it well, because their reg is much bigger than the stock reg. Alright, that was pretty smart. So they can do a MacDev reg. And that's not bad either. And look at that. It actually puts the macro fitting in line with something that's somewhat traditional for the time period. So that's pretty good. So they did alright with that. They made it work with their product and they made it specific, so it's going to take your Angel mount. It's going to take this and allow you to put a MacDev regulator on your Angel if that was what you were into at the time. I never had a problem with MacDev regs outside of they're very finicky and they get a little dirty. They tend to fail, especially these older generation ones, but they've always been pretty consistent and very decent to me. I haven't used that many of them, but the ones I've used have been nice. Outside of, again, they can just fail. This generation, the one previous as well. After they started putting a filter on the bottom of them, I wasn't so thrilled with that. That fits pretty well. It looks fine. Don't mind the colors, obviously, but yeah. It's a weird part that you don't see at all, because I've never seen a MacDev Angel product before until they had this vertical ASA adapter that goes with the stock Angel stuff. And yeah, like I said, this is going to be a quick video, so we are done with it now. This is Andrew from FloryPB. Next Wednesday, maybe we'll get another one of these together. I don't know if it's going to be an every week thing or just when we have time, we'll be putting them out on Wednesdays. And take care for right now, guys.